C'est parti, ça tourne. Voilà. Hello.
Hello.
It's comforting to know my director's close by. Did you want some dinner?
I'm so worn out. Better just go straight to bed.
How are you?
Good.
I just do this to support my acting.
Are there any upsides to this job?
There are plenty of ups.
Well, that's disgusting.
Well, first of all, Vincent, I actually have been working this last 10 years. I made 2 films for television. I published 2 books and did 2 very complicated and big documentaries. So I haven't made a feature film for 10 years, but I've been very busy. The thing I liked most was finishing a documentary on John Ford that I made many years ago, and I redid it. And then I also did a long documentary on Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which won a Grammy, believe it or not. I had never won an Oscar, but I won a Grammy. And published a couple of books and a couple of television shows, and I acted in The Sopranos for 6 years, so I've been busy. I just haven't made a feature film.
If you promise me that you'll never do this again, I'll give you $30,000.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. You don't joke in therapy.
Things have changed quite a bit since I started in the business. I really didn't begin directing films until about the late 60s, 66, 67. But by then, the studio system was already finished. It ended around 62, 63, really. And everything has changed now. I was talking to my agent the other day, and I said, do you think this is a studio picture? And he said, very few pictures are studio pictures anymore. And by that he meant that studio pictures today are sequels, cartoon movies, superhero movies. It's very rare that a studio makes an interesting film, cinematically speaking. They're all action, adventure, kid movies, you know? I mean, for Paramount to have made Selma is pretty unusual.
I got an audition for you.
I'm thrilled. What's a character?
She's a hooker.
A hooker?
Yeah.
No kidding, yeah, no. It's kind of funny.
This is Isabella Patterson.
She's not right. I think she looks great for it.
Tell me why you don't like her.
I'm under a great deal of pressure, and it's my process.
Owen is an unusual example. He really thinks as a writer. He's a very good writer. He worked with Wes Anderson on Wes's first 3 pictures. And he's very much of a thinking actor, you know. He ad-libbed several lines in the movie that we kept in because they were funny or just right, you know. I think more actors are starting to direct than they used to, but you know that's everybody wants to be a director.
Do you like Italian?
Well, look who's here. You 2 know each other?
Not really.
Everybody seems to be confused tonight. Must be the weather.
Confusion reigns.
Huh?
Who's that?
Who is it?
I got the part!
That's great. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, now he's happy. You're always depressed with me. Why is that?
I can't talk right now. Call me later.
The theater, as we know it in America, takes place in New York at Broadway or off Broadway, but it's New York based. And movies, whether we like it or not, are based in Los Angeles. So it's the whole country in between. And movie actors don't play Broadway very often. Occasionally they do as a special event. And theater actors often don't work in movies because they're not in Hollywood. It's 2 different worlds, yeah.
When you say see, do you mean that as in see professionally or just plain see?
What's the difference?
Well, that's a big difference. If it was just a matter of just plain old see, then you would have been the cordial doctor and said good night. But because he's someone you didn't want to see professionally, you abandoned the doctor facade and adopted the Jennifer posture. Hence, toodaloo.
Well, I think The Sopranos changed everything in television. It suddenly was much more interesting to watch The Sopranos than most movies. And I think what everybody said, and I think they're right, is that it raised the bar, so to speak, in television. And since The Sopranos, there's been a lot of shows that I don't think would have happened if it hadn't have been for The Sopranos, like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or Downton Abbey or a number of others, The Wire, Homeland, and so on. I think it was a game changer, as they say in America, The Sopranos was. And I was very fortunate to be a part of it because I played one of the roles in it for about 6 years. And I did also directed an episode.
When I'm casting, I tend to make the mistake of all producers and metteur en scène. I cast for how you look. And that's...
You don't think about the voice.
I think about it, but how you look is the first consideration. And then when I have them on the stage, I'm very interested in their voices, and it's too late to change unless you dub them, and I make that mistake a lot.
Orson Welles shot a movie between 1970 and about 1976 called The Other Side of the Wind. And I'm in the picture too. John Huston plays the leading character and I play sort of the second lead. And there's a lot of other people in it, Susan Strasberg and Mercedes McCambridge and Cameron Mitchell and Lily Palmer and huge cast. And Orson got into a fight with the producer, who was the brother-in-law of the Shah of Iran, a guy named Boucherie. He's passed away. He put about $1 million into the picture, and Orson put about $1 million into the picture. They sued each other or something. They came to blows, so to speak, and they went to a French court, and the French court said, you both own it, so you'll have to work it out. So the picture was put into a vault in Paris here, and it stayed there until Orson died in '85. Now, in the mid-'70s, Orson had turned to me at lunch one day and said rather casually, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to promise me you'll finish the picture. I said, Orson, nothing's going to happen to you. Why do you say such a thing? He said, I know nothing's going to happen, but if it does, would you promise me you'll finish the picture? I said, of course I will, but okay, we can change the subject. So since he died in '85, I've been trying to finish the picture. By finish the picture, he really meant edit the picture because it's been shot. He shot virtually everything he needed, but he didn't have time, didn't have the ability to edit it. He edited about 40 minutes of it, but a little rough, but edited about 40 minutes. So we have a big job ahead of us, and I've been trying to put it together since '85. Now at this moment, as I sit here, it looks like we're close to getting to be able to do it, and I hope we do, knock wood.
He changed my life.
Oh, dear God, no.
You changed my life. You changed my life.
You Weasley son of a...
No, I didn't steal this from here. Could you please put me down?
All right, lady, I'll put you down. You're an idiot.
Owen Wilson.
John, why would you?
Imogen Poots, Katherine Hahn, Will Forte, with Reese Ifans and Jennifer Aniston.
Are you insane?
We're in a code red. Do you understand what that means?
Men.
I think I've gotten to the place where I'm now old enough to be considered in that department. I think it has more to do with age than anything else. When I met John Ford, he was 6 years younger than I am now. God help me. And somebody said, you've become a legend. I said, well, if they try to kill you for 30 years or 40 years and you don't get killed, you become a legend. So I guess I'm a legend.
It was just one of those crazy, stupid, weird things that can happen to you in life.
It's all very confusing.
Very.
She's funny that way.
Oh, great. Here's my therapist.